JJK Modulo Chapter 20 is here, and Yuji Itadori was on a generational run this chapter. We start the chapter off right where we left off, with Yuji standing right outside of the building that he just used blood manipulation on. Oski jumps out of the building and tries to attack him with an axe, but Yuji catches it with using Dismantle inside his hand, just like Suguna did. Yuji looks at Oski and thinks, "Are you a human or are you a Sumerian?" Well, it doesn't really matter. Then he pulls his hand backwards, casually puts some curse energy into it, and black flashes Oski across the city. And it's worth noting that his curse energy manipulation was so precise here that they did have a moment where another character actually has to comment on it. Now, for those who are wondering how Oski would survive a black flash, if you look at the panels, it's pretty clear that Yuji didn't really hit him all that hard. He then turns around and then, with some blood still in his hand, shoots off a very small piercing blood that cuts another human on the cheek, and then immediately the poison takes effect, just like I talked about in the last chapter, and he immediately throws up. Yuji then looks at his hand and says, "Who cares, right? Yuji Itadori doesn't matter anymore," kind of referencing the last lines that Gojo said to him. He says old soldiers never die, they simply fade away, and to not worry about the cursed spirits because he's going to take care of all of them. He also says that he's not going to interrupt the battle between Sudugi and Madu, but he's going to make sure that Debora and Mahoraga don't interfere with their battle as well. And then as he walks off towards the battlefield, he says, "That's fine, right, Sensei?" Which means our goat Gojo is back. And then we quickly cut back to Debora versus Mahoraga, and Debora is now applying reverse curse technique or positive curse energy to his original curse technique, creating something that looks like a black hole. And he's literally doing all of this on a whim, just simply thinking, what would happen if I apply this positive curse energy to this curse technique? We then cut to Sudugi and Madu battling as Rika punches straight through some ice, and then in a completely unexpected manner, she puts her hand down on the floor and pulls out the Soul Split Katana. And Madu's wondering, what is this blade? And she says, "Don't worry about it, just swing and I'll put my power into it." And when he does, it literally cleaves the entire city line. And as that happened, Madu takes note of the cursed spirits not wanting them to be exorcised, but Yuji just walks up and points his fingers and says, "Dismantle." And Yuji sends out a dismantle that is so large, it low-key looks like a world-cutting slash. It's not though. However, it does decimate all of the cursed spirits, causing the third eye of Madu's to start tearing up. And while he's distracted, Rika takes advantage and cuts through him with the Soul Split Katana, but then turns around and just thanks Madu for a moment before the mask actually falls off. I'm assuming her 5 minutes probably ran out. Cursed energy is shrinking as Rika is actually going away. Now this obviously makes sense because Sudugi does not have cursed energy, whereas Rika has a boundless amount of cursed energy for 5 minutes. But then in the final page, we see Sudugi completely speed blitz Madu and says, "Even faster with binding that lets go of your power." Basically saying that Rika took the last small ounces of cursed energy from Sudugi's heavenly restriction, therefore completing it and making him just like Toji and Maki.